Hey everybody, Jordy from Seven Eagle Group. So excited today to be here with Brian Carney, the CEO and founder of the Bonefrog Challenge. We actually live near each other in Massachusetts. I had a chance to do a couple of his bone frogs with my family and absolutely loved it. And I wanted to have an opportunity to chat with Brian and hear his story because I think he's got some really valuable advice for everybody out there, no matter what you're doing with your career. Brian, thank you so much for taking a few minutes today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Can you start out, just give everyone a little quick bio of yourself? I know you grew up in Western Mass
Yeah.
and then went to the military, to the Navy and the SEALs. Can you just give them a little feel of who you are?
So yeah, I grew up in Western Mass, like you said, and I joined the Navy in 2000. Pre 9/11, obviously. So I was in the Navy from 2000 to 2013, and spent pretty much the whole time in the SEAL teams, stationed on the East Coast. And 7 deployments, most of them combat and everything. But it was right towards the end of my 7th deployment. I was in Afghanistan and just started thinking, it might be the right time for me and my family. My wife at the time, I didn't have kids yet, but we knew we were planning on that to do something else. So started Bonefrog, which is the world's only Navy SEAL obstacle course race. When I was transitioning out and just trying to thinking of what I was going to do, everything crossed my mind, from becoming a banker to going to college, just trying to get any business that would hire me for a good amount of money. And then I found these obstacle course races were getting big at the time, and everything was, labeled as military style courses. And that's why I kind of got into that, or it really appealed to me because it felt like something similar to what I was doing. So that was the spark, and started Bonefrog from there, and been doing that since 2013 now, and everything's going good.
Were you always into sports? Were you into sports growing up? Like, how did you know you wanted to do this as a career when you got out of the Navy?
Well, I mean, it had nothing to do with the sports, to be honest. I played baseball, football when I was a kid, in high school and what. But in the military and in the SEAL teams, of course, we were on obstacle courses all the time. When you go through SEAL training, you do the obstacle course every single week. But then when you're not in, you're not in training, you're actually at a command. We're probably doing them still every week, week and a half. We would do SEAL team monster mashes every Friday, where the whole team would get together and run, and it'd be this big race, and go to the obstacle course and knock out like 3 loops of it. Continue onto the beach, do a swim, and then end at the beach with beers and whatnot to finish the day on a Friday. That was like a standard thing. So not only did we do them in the SEAL teams at our own bases, but we'd go and work with, Green Berets or Rangers and yada yada, Marine Force Recon, and we, training on their obstacle courses too. And then we'd go overseas and work with the Germans, the Danish, Polish and everything, all these different countries, and then we work on their obstacle courses. So I felt like, when I heard about this business of obstacle course racing, like, I can bring the authenticity to it, because there's a lot of businessmen out there. You've heard of companies like Spartan Race, Tough Mudder and whatnot, that they're not prior military, they're businessmen trying to replicate a military style obstacle course, and where they're getting their information from an obstacle course is most likely online or from books, not actually doing them. So that's where I thought Bonefrog would be a great fit for the industry. Just we're going to bring the authenticity of the knowledge we have from all the different courses we've done, not just in the U.S., not just in the SEAL teams, but kind of across the a whole world. So that's where I think Bonefrog differs from all the other races out there.
Yeah, and tell everyone a little bit about the makeup of these races. Somebody who's unfamiliar with it, because when I did them, I mean, these are not for the faint of heart, these races. No. They are so much fun because you make them so challenging. The ones that I did was on a ski mountain, and I didn't run. I don't think I ran once. It was just walking because it was that hard, but it was just tons of obstacles. I know what I loved the most, besides doing it with my family, was just the camaraderie of everyone helping each other up the tough course, the tough parts. And so talk a little bit about that. What are these courses like for someone to visualize?
So, I mean, when I started this, I got a bunch of my SEAL friends together, and we were talking about, what could we do for a course? And if I was going to do something like this, and kind of right out the gate, we were saying, if it's going to be a Navy SEAL course, you can't have all the, I guess the fun stuff that some of these auto races have, like the slip and slides and the
Yeah.
fire jumps and the
No
bubbles and the paint and you
Yeah.
name it. It's like, if we didn't do that kind of stuff in the SEAL teams, then why would we call this thing a Navy SEAL race and have all that kind of stuff? So our courses are very military driven as far as what the obstacles are. They're rudimentary in style, to say it's cargo nets, rope climbs, walls, you name it, monkey bars, all your traditional type stuff that you've seen in military movies, or just, anything like that, kind of the stigma of the military. So it's very upper body intensive. So pretty much everyone claims it's like, wow, this thing really wipes you out. Because a lot of these other races, you will do a hard obstacle and then you'll fly down a slip and slide, and then you'll do a hard obstacle and then you'll run through some bubbles, and it's like, nope, not here. It's just going to be hard the whole way through. There's no let up. There's no easy part. We don't have a part designed for fun. It's just
kick my one part. You had us go over this freezing cold lake on a rope. It was probably like 10 feet off the ground, but still, it was just one rope, and
that was a long rope too.
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't like a 10-foot rope. That thing was like 70 feet.
That was the one oh my God, it was just so much fun. But and so talk about the business side of this now. So you're running a business. So talk about your team, what the challenges you face, what you like about running your own business, and doing it in an area that you really enjoy.
So when I first, kind of had the idea for this, not only did I know the company that I wanted to kind of build, the obstacle course racing company, but what also really was a big part of that was I wanted to hire other SEALs and other veterans. It seemed really, like I said, I was in the military for 13 years, and prior to that was just high school. So I don't know much about life. I know the military and I know growing up. Besides that, it was, uncharted territory. And what felt the safest to me was like, imagine if I can hire all my SEAL buddies to work with me and we could just knock this out of the park. So one of the first struggles I ran into was, there's a lot of buddies out there and the SEAL teams are looking for work, but they're all spread over the country. And we don't have the money to, I'm going to fly you into work from California to Western Mass, or we didn't have any kind of money to say, like, can I offer you a job where you'll move here? So it just wasn't, as pretty of a picture as I painted in my mind. But I did start off with hiring SEALs predominantly. And then once we kind of had a core group, we started hiring other veterans. And it wasn't by design by any means. It was just veterans, but most of them did come from the Navy. So we had, I think, 3 Seabees, which made sense for helping to build obstacles and whatnot. Had a nuke tech that was just really smart and everything, helped us with the business. I just kind of started hiring more and more guys. So we started, without, like I said, by design, we started building this group to help build the courses. And, we call it our build crew, but it's almost like a misstatement because they really do everything. They're labeled as like, we're hiring you for the build crew, but these are the same guys that, set up all the tents. They help at registration. They're selling merchandise. They're working parking.
Right.
You name it. They do everything. So should just be like the Bonefrog staff and make on that. But they're all veterans. And then everyone, it felt awesome because the veterans, a lot of the guys that I was hiring, I didn't even know them, prior to this. We just kind of found them, or they were attracted to us just through traditional means of, come and do the race or hearing about us. And then I started talking to guys, and it seemed to be, to resonate as like a kind of the same story where guys were like, because we have guys, mind you, that are in their 50s, all the way down to their 20s. And guys were saying like, I absolutely love working for Bonefrog because, I went through a patch of years and, I left the military. I had my brotherhood in the military, and then got out of the military, and it's just the civilian world. And you kind of feel like an outcast because you don't fit in, or you don't have the college degree, or you don't have the same kind of stories as all your civilian friends where, their life path and yours was kind of different. And then coming back to a business like this, it's like, it felt like you're in the military again, as far as working with those guys, the similarity, the camaraderie. And it didn't really matter the work you were doing. We could be a paint company or something like that, and it still would be, it was that camaraderie and the guys you're working with. just happened to be that we were building obstacle courses. But anyways, that was a cool piece when I was building the company, and just, found it organically that way.
But you had to jump into being a businessman too and learn all the finance. It's not just setting up courses. That's part of it.
No, I mean, it was definitely crawl, walk, run, and figure it out as you go. And that's nothing different from becoming a SEAL either. It's just like, you're dealt with a situation, you got to deal with it and figure it out. And, more often than not, you succeed in those situations. And that's exactly what I was here. I mean, like I said, I had no college background. So, I didn't go to business school. I didn't work for any, kind of businesses growing up. I was a lifeguard, in high school, and then I was a swim instructor and worked at a beach. But there was nothing to like groom me for something like this. And then this is a pretty unique business, I'd say, because you don't go to school to learn how to be an obstacle course race owner or something like that. There's your traditional jobs. You can say like, lawyers or, repairmen or just plumbers. I'm just giving out just random ideas, but there's no like, where's the book to learn how to run an obstacle course race?
Nobody grows up saying, I'm going to be an obstacle course
No, I mean, you have to figure it out as you go. And
it's a great way to learn, though. Like you said,
you get thrown to the fire, and
got to learn it. You do everything.
So yeah, I mean, the first few years were rough. The first race we ever did, we quickly realized we had no money, because literally no money. Came out of the military. I was a E7. I was a chief, and you don't retire until you get 20 years. So I didn't have any kind of pension to pull from or anything like that. I just got out and did this. So this didn't start turning money for years, obviously.
Right.
And it's like, how do you build a course when you have no money type stuff? So but you figure it out. So I think the first course we built took us 6 months to build. And it was mostly my family and my brother-in-law helped me out big, and SEALs were coming up to help, but they couldn't spend 6 months here to help build a course. It's like, they got families too. So we went to the electric company, and we asked them, I said, do you guys have any old telephone poles we could use? And their eyes lit up. Like, are you serious? Like, yeah. And do you have any old telephone poles? Like, you can see them all kind of start laughing. And, they were like, well, it just so happens, new mandate, we have to change out all the telephone poles in the state because these old poles are covering creosote, and you can't, they're not good for the environment. So we have to go to these new green poles, but you can't burn creosote. So it's a big problem what to do with them. You want them? And I was like, yeah, I don't even know what the creosote is. We'll take it. These guys are like laughing under their breath. Like, you just have to sign this paper here and promise you'll never bring them back. So I got a guy with a logging truck to go down there. And I think he did 3 logging truck loads for telephone poles. It was like 100 something poles. And I brought them to the ski mountain that we do our race at. And then I went to the railroad and asked the railroad company. It was the same story. These guys are laughing at me. Like, I don't know why they're laughing. And I was like, do you guys have any old railroad ties? And again, this word creosote came up. They're like, they're all covered in creosote, but if you want them, they're essentially at every railroad crossing across the state. You just go to one, and we'll tell you, and you just take all the ones you want. So called up the tree guy again, like, you go pick up all these creosote covered things again. And I think he was laughing. And anyways, we built the whole course out of this free material. And then the ski mountain's like, so what are you going to do now with all these telephone poles and stuff? I'm like, I don't know. I have no plan. I'm just figuring out as we go.
That's the best way to learn, though. It's like you adapted,
Yeah, exactly. So years later, we've definitely figured it out. But the first few years, you just stumble and and just realize you're not going to be able to figure it out. You're not just going to walk into it and know everything.
Right. You just
be positive, and you're fine.
Talk about how, if somebody wants to get involved with Bonefrog, either as a volunteer at one of the races or hopefully as a participant, because they're just awesome. Talk a little bit about that. Where are the events? I know you have some changes with what's going on, but talk where people can hook up with you.
We started out of Western Massachusetts, like I said, so New England, and then we've been building our events out from here. So we essentially have the entire East Coast blanketed with our events, and we're as far west as Texas now. But we're not on the West Coast, and we're not too far west. We're not past Texas. So that's where our events are.
How many total did you have?
Well, this year we had 12 scheduled, so one a month. January through December. But obviously COVID played a role in, affecting a few of those. But regardless, 2021, well, we still have 4 events this year. We have an event in September, October, November, and December.
Yep.
And then 2021 will come back swinging with a full year. But really, to find our events, you just go to bonefrogchallenge.com. Real easy. Click on the events tab, and it'll just show you everything that's listed for options. And typically just go to the one closest to you, or that's in an area that you'd like to travel to. And they're all different because it is the same obstacles, but obviously up in New England, we're on a ski mountain. You go down to like Orlando, Florida, you're in a soft sand state park.
Of alligators.
It'd be easy because there's no mountains, but you're running through soft sand the whole time, and that absolutely kills your
No
leg.
Alligators in Orlando?
No promises.
You don't walk over the alligators?
Yeah, I've seen alligators.
You guys are freaking crazy. No, it's awesome. So, all right. So everyone go check out this page. Go to one of these events. They are amazing. You will love it. It is an incredible experience. I know you guys are always looking too for volunteers, I think, for the events. And even if you can't participate, please help out, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, everyone, so especially for veterans, of course, love to see up the race. We do a big military veteran discount for 20% off.
Nice.
And then also, if guys are interested in working for the company too, contact us.
Oh, that's great.
To contact us, you just contact@bonefrogchallenge.com is the email.
That's good. And are there any opportunities for corporations to get involved with you guys?
Yeah. So we have sponsors, corporate sponsors and everything, but then what we do for corporations that, they contact us and say, we want to do kind of a retreat, or we want to bring, parts of the company to run the event. We do discounts for the corporations. I think if it's 10 people or more, so 10 or more, they get a corporate discount, and that's all on the website too, on our about page.
That's awesome.
But that's where those guys involved. Bonefrog brings in. We have the biggest following of military and veterans, police officers, firemen, people that serve to our event. I've talked to a lot of different race owners, from obstacle course racers, but also, marathons and triathlons, and they don't see the numbers we do. It's just one big community of veterans.
And it's tight. It's a tight community. It's not just random.
It makes perfect sense too. So we love it. I wouldn't choose anything else, even though I've been doing it for 8 years now. I'm still not swayed by anything. I absolutely love this job. I love this business. I love the people that run it and work for us. If you're a veteran and you're interested in joining the crew type thing, definitely reach out, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, hey, I'm sorry, Brian, you are an absolute inspiration. I know to other veterans who are looking to start your own business, your own venture. What you've done with this company is so amazing, and all the lives that you affected. I thank you for that. And it was a real pleasure talking with you today, and keep up the great work. I'll hope to see you out there at your next Deerfield event. I'll be there.
Absolutely. It was good talking. Thank you for the opportunity.
You got it.